What is this microblogging thing?
Wow, microblogging really, if you put it in a nutshell, is short conversations around the blogging platform. And it took off with Twitter, and you have Tumblr blogs and Pounce and so forth. But it's just short messaging services that allow people to comment on what people are saying.
Why is this so popular?
I think because of generation of impatience, so to speak, where people just like to post short information, they like to receive and send information real quick, and we live what is called this microwavable age. So it's popular because I can gather a lot of conversation, a lot of information, what people are sharing, real easy and real quick. And if like you look at everybody's how much time they're spending online, I think they see it as a way to gather information in a heartbeat, and so I think that's why it's taken off.
So you use the term micro conversation.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Tell us a little more about that.
Basically, micro conversations kind of is the word when you take microblogging and look at the conversations that are happening on on the microblogging platforms, such as Twitter, Pounce, Rejaw, Plurk, and so forth. So these micro conversations are limited a lot of times to 140 characters because of text messaging platform, and it's basically you saying breaking news happening in Raleigh, North Carolina, and then somebody's saying what was breaking news, and then they posted the breaking news in 140 characters less, and that conversation can go on and on and on with multiple individuals surrounded around one topic, breaking news, or it could be a promotion, or it could be about a latest website or your brand.
One of the things that caught my attention of microblogging was when I realized CNN was quoting comments on Twitter
Mm-hmm.
during the election process.
Mm-hmm.
And could you describe, Twitter played a pretty active role in this election.
Mm-hmm.
Could you talk about that a minute?
Yeah, it's interesting. CNN has been one of the early adopters of Twitter from day one, but it wasn't until their news anchors started using it and people started seeing the value of it. The way it works is that with Twitter you join, you can create a following, and then your following becomes your social network, and you can reach a lot of people, and then you can engage and have these conversations, like these micro conversations what we're talking about, easily. And so when CNN anchor Rick Chances created his Twitter account and just start saying that you can showing tweets on the news, it opened a lot of eyes for individuals. So it became a way to broadcast and do online Q&A on Twitter and on the television at the same time and get thousands of feedback from the Twitter community. So he instantly became a quote unquote almost Twitter celebrity when he joined, said, asked a question on Twitter, showed somebody tweets on broadcast, and start getting hundreds if not thousands of replies back. And asking those questions, whether it was about Joe DePlumber, was about McCain, Palin, or Barack Obama, people was already having these conversations online on Twitter about it. So he just took those conversations, captured it in his replies on Twitter, and he showed it on broadcast, which became a hit.
So basically it's getting closer to the people.
Yes.
But it also demands having a conversation. This isn't the old approach to marketing where you just pushed information that interrupted their day.
Mm-hmm. It's a couple things. Twitter asked the question, what are you doing? And that question is basically to get the conversation started. It's not just say, I'm doing a podcast, I'm doing an interview. It's really a conversation starter. And so with Twitter and PR and branding and marketing, you see a lot of individuals come up there and just push. But you're exactly right. It's not about push. It is about the conversations, which leads to the relationships. And so with Twitter and these conversations, people ask a question, or they post a topic, or they post what they are doing, or they post what they see, and conversations are happening around those topics. And after the conversations, what's next? Relationships build because people find a common interest in regarding what topic. So Twitter is, I don't put it in a box, and so to speak, is saying, it's just what are you doing, or this is where I'm at, or I'm doing an interview or a podcast. Twitter conversations can be about anything. It depends on the individual and the relationship they establish with their followers or their friends, so to speak.
So a company that wants to get into Twitter, it would be wise for them to speak to someone like you to design the appropriate conversations and then choose who's going to manage those conversations.
Yes. Yeah. I'm currently, I think, I try to toot my own horn, but I'm currently number 88, 89. I'm battling with some other people as far as in the 80s position on Twitterholic. I was number.
That's in the world.
Yes,
right?
in the world. I was number 847 to sign up for Twitter. And you think about it, I was one of the first 1,000 users to Twitter when it first launched a few years ago. And so I've seen people fail on Twitter, and I've seen companies and brands use it the right way. Even though I just said you can have any conversation on Twitter, there is some core values of creating a conversation on Twitter about your brand, your product, if you're a company want to get involved.